Police and local officials in Montgomery County, Maryland, that is just across the border here from the District of Columbia, delivering the news, the relief, really, that a suspect is now in custody. That suspect is Eulalio Tordel. He was a officer with the Federal Protective Service. This is a division of the Department of Homeland Security. He is now a suspect in several shootings that killed 3 people over the last 48 hours. Police saying there that these events unfolded very, very rapidly. He is expected to be charged within several hours. He was under surveillance there in that mall where he was captured for more than an hour as he visited a number of businesses. They then moved in. Crucially, they took him into custody without incident. I want to bring in Evan Perez, our justice reporter. He's been covering this, and also Brian Todd, who is on the scene there. Brian, as we hear this, really a remarkable development that they were able to take him after these alleged acts of violence without incident.
It really is remarkable, Jim, and police, from every account that we've gotten, played this very carefully and very well. In the end, you see the what we believe to be one of the victim's cars being towed away right here behind me. But very quickly, to get back to your point on how this suspect was apprehended, non-violently but very dramatically. A law enforcement official who we spoke to said they spotted the suspect's car in a parking lot across the street from that Giant in the Aspen Hill area, that Giant grocery store in the Aspen Hill area. They spotted his car in a parking lot across the street. Then they saw him, according to a law enforcement official who spoke to CNN, they saw him through the storefront window of a restaurant in a shopping center across the street. According to this official, they kept eyes on him, and he was in this restaurant for about an hour, and they were ready to move in on him if he did anything threatening. But he came out, he got in his car, and that's when law enforcement officers blocked his car. That's how they apprehended this suspect, according to a law enforcement official. This, of course, after a tragic 24-hour period, 3 separate shootings in 3 parking lots, Jim, leaving 3 people dead.
Just incredible, the suspected shooter taking the time to go to a restaurant while being chased by police. Brian Todd on the scene there. I want to go to Evan Perez, who's with me in the studio here in Washington. Interesting, this is a highly vetted federal law enforcement officer. His job in the Federal Protective Services is to protect federal buildings from violence like we've seen here.
Right.
Was there a failure here?
Well, it doesn't appear so. It appears that shortly after he was subject to some kind of protective order issued by a court, it appears that the wife, his estranged wife, is who asked for that protective order. Shortly after that, the Federal Protective Service, which is a part of DHS, suspended both his badge, his credentials, and took away his service weapon, and they put him on some sort of administrative leave. There's been a lot of changes, Jim, in the last couple of years as a result of the Navy Yard shooting and other incidents in which when people who have security clearances, people who have badges and weapons issued by the federal government, when they come up for background checks, whenever something derogatory that shows up in their background, that is updated, and they will take their weapons away, take away their credentials for this exact reason.
So they did act, unfortunately, not before these acts of violence were carried out. Thanks very much.